markets and analysing the week's performance. So during this live session, we will look at an end-of-week summary for gold, silver, oil and commodity currencies. We'll also look at the top trades of the week. We will cover live market commentary and technical analysis. There's been a lot of movement this week. We'll look at the week ahead, so key events looking forward, and of course answer any of your questions during this call this morning. So let's have a quick recap of the gold price. So gold prices declined for a 7th day in the worst slump since March 2009. So lots of movement. We hope you caught some of these moves this week. Quite nice day trades and swing trades that we've had on. We'll talk you through that very shortly. So gold prices, essentially, they've continued to decline on Friday today, with the precious metal facing a 7th day of straight losses, a weekly decline of nearly 5% as the US dollar has rallied following more talks about a wind down of the Federal Reserve's bond buying program. So week-long liquidation, technical short selling in the gold futures market this week placed a lot of pressure on the precious metals. A strong US dollar and low inflation environment in the major world economies is pulling money away from gold right now. The US dollar index, which moves the inverse to gold, is hovering currently at a 10-month high. So following comments from the San Francisco Federal Reserve President John Williams on Thursday, Williams said that the Fed should slow its $85 billion a month bond buying program as soon as this summer if the economy expands in line with forecasts. So these comments were echoed also by the Federal Bank of Philadelphia's President Charles Plosser and the Fed Bank of Dallas President Richard Fisher on Thursday. So gold is certainly hurting from the talk that the Fed might stop their quantitative easing program, which typically tends to weaken the US dollar and make gold stronger. So we're currently seeing the inverse occur. So gold has not been responding in a typical fashion due to the bearish sentiment. It began its downturn from mid-April when we had that huge sell-off over 2,700 pips in 48 hours, and the precious metal investors who certainly own physical gold and silver right now, they are hurting, whilst traders like ourselves and the Gold and Silver Club, and probably you guys as well, who come on our weekly webinars, are reaping huge rewards in what can be described as the most lucrative market conditions for day trading. Again, the average volatility on gold at the moment is circa about 300 pips per day that it moves, or 300 points. So very day tradable at the moment, excellent market to be looking at on a daily basis. So right now gold, as I said, is moving 300 pips per day, and silver is an average of about 70-point movement, which I'll show you as well. We've had some interesting moves this week, and this does create endless opportunities really to make money regardless of whether gold and silver prices decline, rise or move sideways. And as you all know, the prices, any market falls much quicker than it does go up. So certainly when the markets are selling off, especially when we have very clear breaks of support levels, we have some opportunities to sell short. So we will start having a look at the markets, the top trades of the week, very shortly. Before we do so, good to see lots of old faces and new faces on the call this morning. So for those of you who are new to our weekly webinars, my name is Phil Carr. I'm a professional trainer and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the most lucrative financial markets in the world. So gold, silver, oil and forex. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio. I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. And I'm also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars, webinars and workshops. And of course, joining me on the call is Nick Kalsi, professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nick spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. Through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, he discovered the formula, the mindset, and the tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy. And he also writes for a number of global business and financial publications, and with both appeared frequently on financial television. We were just on Dukascopy, Swiss TV, just a fortnight ago, giving our views on the recent gold and silver move, and here is some of our global press we've been in recently. So that's a bit of background on myself and Nick. And now let's have a look. Let's actually turn our attention, and we will have a look at the gold prices this morning. So gold price right now, if anybody wants to tell me, feel free to comment in the box below. So the price this morning of gold on the 17th of May is $1,382 per ounce. So we're going to be talking through the live charts very shortly, and we'll be looking at what to expect really from the rest of the day and the rest of the week ahead, and looking forward to major news next week. Okay, so top trades of this week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies. Well, really a very straightforward trade this week has been to short gold. We started, you would have seen last week, we actually started to short gold when we had a reversal at that 1474 level, thereabouts, and we had the price just came down all the way down to the 1440 area, and we had a nice about 350 pip profit trade on that. Last Friday, the price did break down. We had a little bit of a bounce to the upside. It came down to 14.19. It did have a little bit of a rally, but earlier on this week, certainly on Monday and Tuesday, the prices started to decline, and then we broke through this 14.20 level. So you actually got an inside candle, the inside bar for those of you who are more technically, who've got more technical knowledge on candlesticks. You've got an inside bar there, and we also broke out of this box setup. So we've seen a nice move to the downside. So we've caught a nice move there of over 340 pips. Just trading literally the break of the 14.19 level, and we've come all the way down to the 13.85 level of support, and that's been just a very quick trade over 24 hours just to come out 70 points risk on that, so for $700 risk to make 340 points, so 3,400 US dollars for each lot traded for a nice 4-to-1 risk to reward. A lot of our traders at the Gold and Silver Club also caught this trade as well, so a really nice down move. Silver, very similar situation on silver. Silver broke through this level of support, the 23.08 level. Came down yesterday and actually retested the yearly low, the 16th of April low at $22 an ounce. We started to find a bounce on that level immediately, so we came out, and that was just a very quick day trade. Again, within 24 hours, we just had an 89 pip trade for a quick 2-to-1 on that. So as you may know, the average pip movement or point movement on silver on a daily basis is circa around 70 points. So if you've done that over a period of 24 hours, that's quite reasonable. So 89 points there for a 40-point risk, 2-to-1 day trade. Very happy with that. And crude oil, we've had a really nice trade on crude oil this week as well. Crude oil finding support in that upward trending channel that we've been forming since mid-April. So since we've had the decline in gold, we've started to see that relief rally in crude oil as well, and you can see there where we had the price come down, tested 100, 101.94, actually it was 100.87 level, and we've just bounced off that level, had a really nice bounce off a horizontal level of support, a trend line, got a really nice setup on the daily candle there, and we've come out with over 181 pips for that trade there. So 59 pips risk on the trade, 181 pips was our profit for a 3-to-1 risk to reward on crude oil. Okay, excellent. So I've got a few questions coming through there. We're going to move on to the live charts very shortly. Mr. C, I see there you're asking, do you like to see the daily charts? Yes, we're currently looking at the daily charts on these examples here, and we will look at daily very shortly on the live technicals. So those guys are some of our top trades this week. And okay, let's move it over to our live charts. Of course, keep your questions coming, and we can answer those whilst we are going through some live technical analysis. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to switch this to my monitor, and we will go through some live charts for you guys. Okay, right, so if you've got any questions at all, do put them in the chat, guys. And right, so let's crack on. So first market we want to look at is going to be silver. So silver very much in a downtrend at the moment. We've seen we're below a lot of, if you go we just zoom out ever so slightly, the overall momentum is certainly to the downside. You can see we're below a lot of key moving averages as well at the moment, and this is the point where we actually came down yesterday and we retested that 22 level low from the 16th of April. At the moment, I would note that we've got quite a strong sort of hammer candle there on the daily time frame, and there's a little bit of indecision in the moment in the market. There's not much volume behind that. We've only moved about 33 pips so far today. I would have particular. I'd be very interested in this if we started to break above yesterday's high, this candle, to see if we're going to get a bit of a retracement back to the upside, perhaps above the 23 level towards 23.40 and even towards the 23.75 level, if we can get a bit of a rally from here. So very interested to see that. At the moment, the candle we've got is an inside candle, so it's smaller than the previous candle. So at the moment, we really want to see whether we're going to go higher than yesterday's high or if we're going to break through this low of $22 an ounce. In which case, if we do break through the $22 an ounce level on silver, we are going to potentially see the market start to sell off. We could have a move down towards these lower levels of support going back to the 2008 and 2010 highs, 21.34, 19.39, and even as low as 18.93. So we could see just more positions get stopped out. If we did, that would be a logical place for a lot of traders who are long at the moment to have their stop loss. So we could see a nice move to the downside if we break the 22 level silver. As I said, there's a bit of indecision at the moment in the market. That candle is not a lot of volume behind it right now, and we're probably going to get more information this afternoon. We'll go through the news announcements that we're going to get this afternoon, but we do have a couple of news announcements which will affect gold and silver. So right now, whether we're going to get a big move to the upside or a downside is to be decided. So keep an eye on silver's one that I need to keep an eye on today. Gold looking interesting as well. So gold's actually found some support at this 61.8 retracement level, Fibonacci level, and what we can see there is gold at the moment certainly weak. We've had some really nice sell short opportunities. You can see where we sold short at the 14.20 level. Price came down yesterday as low as 13.85. In fact, it went a bit lower this morning, but again, we've got that hammer which is formed there you can see on the daily time frame, and we've got a doji currently next to it, which is it's an inside candle, so it's dwarfed by the previous candle. So at the moment, we're really going to be interested in a break of either the low of this, which is going to be around 13.70, or the high, which is 13.98, in order for us to get direction on gold this morning. So are we going to see the price break back up to the upside, get a bit of a relief rally back above the 1400s, or are we going to see the price break down below this 13.70 level and possibly come back down to the retest 13.50, 13.60, 13.53, and even as low as 13.20? In which case, if we come down to 13.20, watch for potential breaks of that level of support, because then we could see further moves down on gold, because that again would be a logical place where some traders are going to have their loss. Okay, so that's gold and silver. So gold, the overall sentiment is down, but we are getting a bit of a relief this morning. As I say, there's indecision in the markets. This is really going to be decided this afternoon by news announcements which we'll be going through very shortly with you. Let's just take a look at the commodity currencies for you guys. So we're going to look at the derivatives of the commodity currencies as well. And actually, before we actually go on to the news, which I'll talk you through, let's just have a look at what news is going to affect the market this afternoon. So really 2:55 this afternoon, BST, British summertime. We've got the US dollar prelim consumer sentiment at 2:55. So that's going to probably cause some, certainly that will affect the US dollar and affect gold and silver. So that's what I would be interested in this afternoon for gold and silver. Right, let's move across to one market which I think you'll find very interesting. Dollar, Canadian dollar. So we've seen a big move down in Australian US dollar, but at the moment it's very bearish. We've had a big move to the downside. You can see that momentum has just continued. Some of our traders as well, the Gold and Silver Club, we've caught very nice trades to the downside in Australian US dollar. It has found some support this morning at a price action level. However, it's such a strong momentum to the downside, it looks much more lucrative for something, a derivative like Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. The Australian dollar, Canadian dollar we have a 2-year level of support here, which has not really been broken since 2011, April 2011. You can see here, every time we've come down, retested this major level, which is around the 0.9956 level, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're just getting that bounce this morning on Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So take a look at Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Definitely one to watch this morning. That we've got a big hammer forming on that, so we're getting price rejection around that major level of support. Just go back on your weekly time frame, your daily time frame. You can see all the times where this price has been supported previously. Okay, going back to the 26th of May, 26th of September 2012. Going back to the 15th of May 2012, going back to September 2011, going back to July 2011. So major level of support. You can bet other traders will be looking at this who trade this market. We're starting to see some good movement on this at the moment. So Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, that's on your ones to watch this morning. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, this has been taking quite a while to bottom out with this market. We still haven't broken. This is what we discussed last week. We had this big dragonfly doji on the daily time frame. 3rd of May, we haven't breached that level, and we are just seeing consolidation. I will note on the week time frame, we're getting a really strong 2 weeks in a row. We've got like quite a strong hammer or dragonfly doji. We're still, the main body of that candle is within the downward trending channel, as you can see. So Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, also definitely one to watch at the moment. You can see this is weekly. The further out you go on major time frames, the more confirmation you have of these setups. So I would be watching Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. If you don't have those charts, you don't know how to get those charts, do get in touch with us towards the end of the webinar. You can speak to Zena, or you speak to, we can arrange a consultation call. But yeah, these are very looking very interesting today. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. So New Zealand, US dollar, what's going on with this market? Well, we have seen a lot of weeks. We're getting a bit of a bounce this morning at that 0.81066 level that you can see here. However, we did break support just yesterday. You can see we had a level of support 0.81582 level. We've broken below, again, key moving averages, the overall sentiment. We've broken out. We had this uptrend, which we've had for quite some time on the New Zealand dollar market, which has now been broken. So we could have further downside. If we've got further downside with New Zealand US dollar, I'll just trade it via Australian New Zealand dollar for the Australian dollar to be stronger. So if you want to actually, well, let's have a look at the Australian dollar derivative here. We go to Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Again, yeah, we're seeing a little bit of support there. Let's have a look. We'll move back. Actually, no, we would just keep the focus to Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Crude oil this morning. Crude oil is forming a base now. So we bounced off that 96 level. Around a similar time when we bottomed out on gold and silver. We're putting in a relief rally here. So crude oil faring better than gold and silver. This is the trade that we took just earlier on this week, where we came to a nice level of support, nice trend channel. We had a very nice setup on this trade. You can see here, really nice dragonfly doji. Price is really still going strong. So since that bounce there, we've had a really nice, actually, if you go line there, we've moved over 363 pips. So next levels to look at, and crude oil could make its way all the way back up to this 105.97 level of resistance, or possibly all the way up to the upper end of this resistance channel. I would certainly be keeping an eye on the 108.40 level, which previously provided a lot of support past, which could now be resistant. So crude oil, very volatile market, but if you can catch it right, it's worth it. It can move very quickly. Great for day trading crude oil. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, again, if that's not one market that you have in your charts, it's something that you can, of course, get added on. But let's just have a look across to, before we go across to major news, we're just going to look at Euro US dollar as well. So Euro US dollar, just coming back to that retracement level, 76.4 retracement level. You can see the price of the euro has found a little bit of support, broken through some key moving averages, but we've got quite a lot of indecision. So you've got a hammer at the moment forming. You've got the same sort of, we can see the bottom, we've bottomed out at 1.2847 thereabouts on the euro, and we've got indecision. So not a lot of volume at this morning, but we are getting a hammer formation. We've got a doji the previous day, and we've also got a hammer the previous day. So you could almost just draw a box around this price. Let me do that for you. Here's our box. What are we going to break? Are we going to break either the downside? Are we going to break support there? Or are we going to break above the 61.8 retracement, which is 1.2934? So this is what I'm going to be looking at today on the euro. Are we going to do this? Possibly not such a significant move, but are we going to do this to the upside, or are we going to break down to the downside? Or are we just going to continue to consolidate? Okay, so let's have a look at some of your questions. So before we go on to next week's news, let's have a look. Okay, good. So just some questions just regarding silver. Okay, Adi, you want to look at euro, Japanese yen. Okay, Mr. C. Question here from Mr. C. Is it true that silver was manipulated for a while, or just the newspaper writers not accepting price action? We don't really buy into all of this manipulation song. We just want to trade what we can see. Price action, very clearly, we trade the fundamentals. So really the chart tells you everything you need to know there. Everything is tradable, you know, if we get breaks of significant levels using the core strategies that we use at the Gold and Silver Club. You can trade whether the markets are going up, down, or sideways. You want to pay attention to the fundamentals, but I wouldn't pay attention to conspiracy type theories if you're looking to be a successful trader. Okay, Adi, so you want to look at euro, Japanese yen. We may look at that, Adi. I'll see if we've got time. Let's just have a look. There's a question from Maverick there. Okay, so just on Euro USD. Okay, let's just have a look quickly on Euro USD. Okay, so all we're doing there, Maverick, we just got a swing low and a swing high point there for this retracement tool on Euro USD. This is your question just with regard to the Fibonacci retracement. So we've just gone from a swing low and a swing high, the recent levels. Okay, so Annie Mangle. Okay, so Annie Mangle, you're asking if we're saying to buy or sell. Yeah, Annie, what you've got to remember, this isn't, what we're giving you here is analysis on the charts at the moment, guys, and key levels that we're looking at right now. So, Annie, in terms of your question, yeah, we are not a tipping service as such. We can't advise you on any trades that you might be taking. Okay, Peter, so Peter, question just on the MAs there. Again, Peter, I'll tell you what, if you want to, if you get in touch with Zena at the Gold and Silver Club, we can talk you through that. We can arrange, we can send you some more, an information pack with more information about the specific indicators we use at the Gold and Silver Club. Yeah, that's it, Annie. Yeah, exactly. It will go, indeed. You want to be able to trade if the price goes up, down, or sideways. You want to have specific strategies for trading either way. Okay, no, you're welcome, Peter. Okay, fantastic, guys. We're just going to, before we move on to next week's news, any more questions on gold and silver, guys? Is there anything that you're interested in gold and silver before we move on to the news in the week ahead? Again, gold, we're awaiting this afternoon. We've got more news coming out on the CAD as well. We've got news at 2:55, the US dollar prelim consumer sentiment. That would affect gold and silver. So at the moment, we are just seeing there's not a lot of volume behind the markets at the moment. We're not getting much direction right now. So I would be looking to see whether we're going to break the high or low of yesterday's candle at the moment. So gold up or not? Okay, so we're just going to take a look at gold. So gold at the moment, guys, we've just got a lot of indecision right now on the market. So what we're seeing with gold is we're currently around the 1382 level. The overall market is bearish for gold currently. Yesterday we did put in one of those quite a strong hammer, so we've got rejection of this this support here, which is the 1370 level, but we have since bounced off. So I would look for direction to see whether we are going to either break the 1370 level today or whether we're going to get back into the 1400s if we break above 1397. So right now, a bit neutral on gold right now. You can see this is a doji, which means there's an equal number of buyers and sellers in the market for gold currently. Okay, fantastic. So I think that's answered all your questions, guys. Great questions, and we're going to move on to the news for the week ahead. Okay, so the week ahead, so key news that you want to look at moving forward. So if you want to just jot down these major news announcements, because you want to take note of these, especially if you're trading gold and silver, you need to be aware of the following. Okay, so today at 1:30 p.m. we have the CAD Core CPI. That measures the changes in price of goods and services, excluding food and energy. The CPI measures price change from the perspective of the consumer. It's a key way to measure changes in purchasing trends and inflation. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the CAD, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the CAD. This is important because the CAD is, of course, inversely correlated to gold. So whilst we've seen a move to the downside in gold and silver over the last week, we've seen quite a nice rally in USD Canadian dollar. They're inversely correlated. Friday, 2:55 today, we have the Consumer Sentiment Index. The index rates the relative level of current and future economic conditions. So that is the preliminary data that tends to have greater impact. So the reading is compiled from a survey of around 500 consumers. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. So that's going to be important for gold and silver. We may see really the volume start to pick up this afternoon once we get this announcement come through at 2:55. Of course, tomorrow is going to be a big one, which is going to affect the markets over the weekend. So it could affect any swing trades that you keep over to next week on Forex or gold and silver. So we've got Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke speaking on Saturday at 4 o'clock. So the head of the Federal Reserve, which controls short-term interest rates, he has a lot of influence over the US dollar, of course, more than any other person. Traders will closely watch his speech, as they are often used to drop hints regarding future monetary policy. His comments will determine short-term positive or negative trends. So that is tomorrow. Of course, you won't be able to trade that because tomorrow is a Saturday, but just be aware that if you do have any trades which you're leaving over the weekend, any swing trades, that could affect it depending on what comments come out. It could be a non-event, but it could affect trades. So just one to be wary of. Going on to next week, next Tuesday, 21st of May, we have the JPY rate decision. So the Bank of Japan rate decision may have a huge effect on the Japanese yen and affect US dollar. And that's important because the US dollar is, of course, correlated to gold. Next Wednesday, 27th of May, you've got another CAD announcement, CAD retail sales. That measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level in Canada, excluding automobiles. So it's an important indicator of consumer sentiment, and that's considered a pace indicator for the Canadian economy. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the CAD, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. That's important if you're trading USD CAD, Australian dollar CAD, or any derivatives of that. And of course, it moves inversely to gold and silver. Also, we have the US new home sales. That's going to be next Thursday at 3 p.m., US new home sales. And this measures the annualized number of new single-family homes that were sold during the previous month. So the report tends to have more impact when it's released ahead of existing home sales because the reports are tightly correlated. Higher than expected readings should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. And next Friday, we also have the German IFO Business Climate Index. That's going to affect the euro. Higher than expected readings should be taken as bullish for the euro, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Those are all your key news announcements over the course of the next week. So, of course, if you would like to, certainly several of you asking for more information there, if you'd like to request more information on the gold, silver and Forex courses and our live trading room and live trading programs, which we host, you can go to, for all our Gold and Silver Club members and our traders, you can, of course, go to www.thegoldandsilverclub.com/course form. You can get in touch with us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com. If you call our office on 0207-193-0403, of course, you can speak to Zena, and she will provide you with more information about our programs and live trading rooms, and we can take it from there. And you can also call Thomas at our Asia Pacific office, 852-8191-0403, if you're calling in from Asia, to get more information as well. We'll get a few questions about how you actually fill in this form. So just go to our website, the Gold and Silver Club. You can just click on Learn to Trade at the top, and you'll get a form just to fill out. If you fill out that form, then to request more information, then Zena or Thomas will be in touch with you. And of course, do make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll get free weekly gold, silver, and commodity currency news, live market analysis, and prices. Okay, so good luck to everybody for the rest of the day's trading. Couple of announcements this afternoon to be aware of. We've gone over some key markets which you need to just ones to watch really for the rest of the day and moving into next week. Good luck with all of your trading. We'll of course see you back the same time next week. Okay, so take care everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys. Bye bye.